Some trick plays are flashy, some are clever, and some are so smart they make an entire defense look like it forgot the rules of football. Today we're looking at trick football plays that only get smarter, from wild laterals and fake handoffs to the most legendary gadgets the sport has ever seen. And if you love smart football like this, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. Mahomes, Kelsey, and McCoy. Chaos with a purpose. We start with a play that looks completely broken until you realize Kansas City somehow turned panic into design. Mahomes is under pressure, throws back across his body. Kelsey reacts instantly and then flips it again to LaShawn McCoy in space. That's what makes modern trick football so dangerous. The smartest teams don't just call creative plays, they build offenses where improvisation itself becomes part of the threat. Chase Claypool to Derek Watt, the power formation lie. This one is smart because it weaponizes expectation. Everything about the formation says power football. It screams run, collision, short yardage, grind, and that's exactly why the throw works. Claypool takes the handoff, the defense collapses, and suddenly, Derek Watt is free for the touchdown. The best trick plays are not random at all. They're built on making the defense trust what it thinks it already knows. Kurt Warner to Larry Fitzgerald, classic flea flicker perfection. The flea flicker is one of football's oldest magic tricks, but when it's executed this cleanly, it still feels lethal. Warner sells the handoff, gets it back, resets, and drops it right where Fitzgerald can go finish the play. This is where trick football becomes more than just deception. It becomes timing, trust, and discipline. Everybody has to do their part perfectly, because if one fake looks half speed, the illusion falls apart immediately. Travis Kelce to Byron Pringle. When your tight end becomes the quarterback. This is the kind of play only a truly creative offense can pull off without it feeling forced. Kelce doesn't just take the snap for fun. He looks comfortable doing it. That's what makes the play so smart. Kansas City had already convinced defenses to fear motion, speed, and misdirection. So when Kelce suddenly becomes the passer, the defense is already late. The smartest trick plays don't come out of nowhere. They grow naturally out of everything the offense has already taught you to worry about. Antoine Randall L. to Hines Ward. The prototype before trick plays became weekly content, Antoine Randall L. was making them feel normal. The motion, the handoff, the quick reset, and then the strike to Hines Ward. It's all so smooth that the defense almost looks frozen. That's why Randall L. belongs in any conversation about football creativity. He wasn't just part of gadget plays, he made them feel trustworthy, and that changes everything for a play caller. Johnny Manziel sideline decoy, winning before the snap. This one is genius because the trick starts before the ball is even snapped. Manziel looks like he's out of the play entirely, just standing near the sideline like he's talking football instead of playing it. Then the snap happens, he leaks out, and suddenly the defense realizes too late that the disguise was the play. That's a higher level of trickery because now you're not just fooling assignments, you're fooling attention itself. Sam Koch fake field goal. The holder becomes the hero. Fake field goals work because everyone is trained to ignore the holder unless something goes wrong. So when Sam Koch keeps it and runs straight into the end zone, it feels almost unfair. That's why these plays are so effective in the red zone. The defense is keyed on leverage, penetration, and the kick itself. The moment they hesitate even slightly, the holder has a runway. It's simple, but it's simple in a very intelligent way. Antonio Brown kickoff reverse. Special teams madness. Special teams trick plays hit differently because the field is so open and the consequences are so brutal. Antonio Brown gets the ball moving one way, the entire coverage unit starts flowing, and then the reverse flips the geometry of the play. Once the edge is lost, the return is gone. This is one of those plays where the design doesn't just create a crease, it creates panic, and panic is deadly on kickoff coverage. Derrick Henry jump pass, power pretending to be finesse. What makes this play so smart is that it uses Derrick Henry's reputation against the defense. When Henry gets the direct snap, everybody's first thought is collision. Everybody prepares for force, and that's exactly why the little jump pass works so well. The defense commits to stopping something violent and instead gets beaten by touch. It's one of the smartest forms of trickery, using a player's identity as the fake itself. Russell Wilson flea flicker. Misdirection with speed. Seattle's version works because every movement feels dangerous. Lynch gets the toss. The defense flows downhill. Wilson gets it back. And now the secondary is caught in a terrible spot. Once a trick play forces defenders to choose between the run they just saw and the pass they now fear, the offense has already won. This is what smart trick football really is, putting defenders into a decision they physically cannot make fast enough. Patriots double lateral back to Brady, to overthinking the defense. The Patriots loved making defenses feel stupid in layers, and this is a perfect example. First the lateral creates confusion, then the ball goes back to Brady, and now the defense has to reprocess the entire play while it's still happening. That's what separates the good trick plays from the truly smart ones. The great ones don't just fake you once, they make you correct yourself and then punish the correction too. Source Mohamed Sanu to Andy Dalton, the quarterback touchdown catch. Anytime the quarterback becomes the receiver, the play instantly gets dangerous because most defenses don't treat him like a real route runner. That's the whole genius here. Sanu gets the pitch, Dalton leaks out, and the defense is late because it still sees a quarterback, not a target. It's not the hardest throw in the world, but it's one of the smartest ways to hide a touchdown in plain sight. Daniel Jones, one-handed catch. Trick play meets highlight reel. Most quarterback catches are memorable because they're awkward. This one is memorable because it isn't. Daniel Jones lays out and snags it one-handed like a receiver who practices that every week. That's what makes the play so fun. The design already fooled the defense, but Jones still had to finish it with real skill. Sometimes a trick play wins on deception. Sometimes it wins because the most unexpected player on the field makes the hardest part look easy. Jeff Hayes' fake punt touchdown, the entire field opens up. A fake punt touchdown might be the ultimate punishment for an over-aggressive special teams unit. Everybody is selling out to rush, contain, and return. Then suddenly the punter keeps it, breaks the first wave, and there is nothing left but open grass. That's why fake punts feel so violent when they work. They don't just steal a first down. They expose how thin and fragile the coverage structure really is once the initial assumption is wrong. Nate Solder touchdown, when the tackle becomes the story. There is something beautifully disrespectful about a tackle-eligible touchdown. The defense spends the whole series worrying about the usual names, and then suddenly an offensive lineman is the one celebrating in the end zone. Plays like this are smart because they exploit rules, tendencies, and attention. Nobody is lined up expecting the giant extra blocker to become the actual target, and by the time they realize it, it's already over. Curtis Martin halfback pass. Old school genius. This is old school trick football at its best. Hand the ball off, get the defense to chase the run, and then let the back rise up and throw. What makes it smart is how timeless it is. Even as schemes evolve, defenders still overreact to flow. They still trust their first read. Curtis Martin uses that instinct against them perfectly, and the result is the kind of touchdown that makes a classic trick play feel immortal. Dontari Poe big man touchdown pass, the ultimate mismatch of expectations. This play works on pure disbelief. The last person a defense expects to see calmly throwing a touchdown pass is a defensive tackle. That's exactly why it's brilliant. By the time the defense understands what's happening, the throw is already in the air. Trick plays become truly memorable when they challenge your sense of who is even allowed to do what on a football field, and Dontari Poe absolutely does that here. Fake spike. Dan Marino freezes an entire defense. This is one of the smartest plays in football history because it weaponizes sportsmanship and urgency at the exact same time. Everyone expects Marino to spike it. The defense relaxes for just a breath, and that breath is enough. Marino doesn't just fool the coverage, he fools the emotional rhythm of the moment. That's why the fake spike still feels so cold decades later. It turns a routine clock management sequence into a touchdown with one act of total conviction. Philly Special, the gold standard. The Philly Special is where creativity, courage, and timing all meet at the highest possible level. Biggest stage, biggest pressure, and instead of playing safe, the Eagles call for their quarterback to become the receiver. That's why this play lives forever. It isn't just well designed, it's fearless. Smart trick plays are about knowing exactly when the defense is vulnerable. Legendary trick plays are about trusting that knowledge when the whole world is watching. Music City Miracle, the lateral heard forever. This is trick football at full emotional volume. The catch, the lateral, the sideline, the sprint, everything about it feels impossible in real time. And that's what makes it one of the greatest special teams plays ever. It's not just clever, it's unforgettable. Some trick plays are admired for design. This one is remembered because it detonated an entire stadium in a single sequence and became part of football mythology immediately. Steve Bono bootleg. The smartest trick is sometimes the simplest. And maybe the perfect ending is Steve Bono fooling literally everybody with a fake so clean that even the broadcast sounds stunned. No wild tosses, no circus laterals, no flashy route tree, just total conviction and a defense that follows the wrong story all the way to the end zone. That's a great final lesson for this whole video. Sometimes the smartest trick play is not the busiest one. It's the one that makes everyone believe the lie for just 1 second too long. From laterals and flea flickers to fake spikes, fake punts, and Super Bowl magic, these trick football plays didn't just get trickier. They got smarter. They manipulated leverage, attention, emotion, and even time itself. If you enjoyed this countdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and come back for more football videos.